Hey guys, what's up? Nico again here. And in this 3D Printed Profits episode, I have Jen and is it husband? Husband, right?
Yes, my husband, Nathan.
What's going on, Nate? And so they make molds from the 3D printed parts. And we've never had anyone in the show who does that. So where are you guys coming from, Jen?
We're coming from Tampa, Florida.
Tampa, Florida. So welcome to the show. Again, you guys, all the links from this episode is going to be in the description below if you're on YouTube. And if you're in your favorite podcast player, it's going to be in the show notes down below. If you guys stay till the very, very end of the episode, I will give you your own product idea so you guys can make your own 3D printing side business and you guys can make money. And if you need help starting, building, and scaling that, message me. I help you guys out. All right. So Jen, Nate, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
So give me a little bit more of your background before we start. Are you guys engineers by any chance or anything like that? How did you guys get started in 3D printing?
Actually, Nathan does have a little bit of an engineering background, but the reason that we got started 3D printing is because we're both really big cosplayers.
Okay.
So that was kind of the natural evolution after you're building everything by hand to go, let's get a 3D printer and see what happens.
All right. And Nate, so you have a little bit of engineering background. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, I've got quite a few classes in mechanical engineering and then some in computer programming and things like that. My day job is doing database programming, which doesn't really help a whole lot with 3D printing directly, but helps with some of the other stuff.
Gotcha. Jen, what's your day job?
Actually, this is my full-time day job.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. It was kind of an odd thing. My actual degree is in broadcast journalism, and I did movies and TV commercials and films and things for many, many years. Then we had kind of a bad car wreck. I was out of work. I needed to kind of pivot into something else. So I started doing real estate media. So I was doing photos, videos, drone work, 3D tours, things like that. Then of course the quarantine hit and it was like, well, I can't go out and shoot anybody's house because that's not happening.
Sure.
So I ended up, we had gotten our 3D printers. And I ended up making just a little 20,000 Leagues light up sign for Nathan for our anniversary.
The original one here that started it all.
Yeah. So I put it up on Facebook and a couple of people were like, can I buy one? Where did you buy it? Where can I get it? And it was like, well, yeah, okay, sure. So made a few more of those. And then people started sharing the pictures of it and people were reaching out to us. And it was just like, okay, well, this is interesting.
Right. That's normally how it goes.
And it was like, well, let's just throw up a couple in Etsy. Let's see what happens. And suddenly we were selling them. And it finally got to the point where it kind of became, I was making more than I was making doing my original job, doing this, and I could stay home and I could do something really creative. And
that's awesome. Speaking of making, how much are you guys making a month on your business?
It's about, well, monthly, it kind of comes and goes. It's about 60,000 overall per year.
That is not bad.
No, it's been surprising. But again, like I said, we put up new products.
Congratulations. That is a good, that's a healthy full-time income.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with it. That's what kind of kicked it into it. Once we realized that I could make more doing that than I was doing at my other job, that it was just like, all right, let's pull the trigger on it and see what happens.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer, but it's still scary though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
let me tell you, between me and my other buddies who went full-time in this entire thing, that initial leap is so scary.
True.
But you got to jump, right?
Yeah.
So how'd you guys come up with your idea for your shops and your products? How did you guys, say, hey, I'm going to make molds like that?
For the most part, it's stuff that we would like to have for ourselves. We want to make something that's cool for ourselves, and things that other people don't already make. There's a bunch of people making Mando helmets. There's a bunch of files already out there, a lot of competition for things like that, or whatever the new hotness is. But then there's other things that there's a niche for them that's not filled. There's no officially licensed version of whatever it is, or it's something that people are looking for and nobody else makes. And that's kind of what we try to pursue, is things that nobody else makes yet.
And then to kind of go into that, you were talking about the fact that we make a lot of molds from our stuff. basically how that came about is we were 3D printing things like these signs that we make. Nathan came up with a really awesome design for Borderlands iridium ingots. And the time it took to print them, we could only sell so many, but we were getting so many orders, and we'd have to put up like, okay, well, here's your May pre-order, and we're only making this many, or here's the June pre-order, only making this many, because we couldn't keep up with it, even buying new printers because it took so long. So that's really where it started becoming, okay, well, let's do our initial prototyping in 3D prints, but let's make them so that we can easily start casting them. So for a lot of our items, we make it, then we do 3 or 4 molds, and we're constantly cycling through those molds. So all of a sudden now we can double or triple the amount that we can get out in a month.
Yeah, because getting a mold is how long does it take for the mold to set before you can pop out the product?
Overnight, more or less. There's a lot of setup involved.
That's for the mold itself.
Yeah, for pouring the silicone. Yeah. So maybe the easy example is this 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea sign, which is a 3D hollow thing, and it's got lights in it.
Sure.
But for the base plate, we print a piece that looks like, man, our lighting is really bad right here. We print a piece like this.
Printed in that lovely green shade that everybody wants.
To print this in the high quality that we demand of our own stuff, because we're not printing stuff with a 0.4 layer height or anything like that. We're making sure everything is as nice as it can be coming off the printer. I'd rather make the printer do the work and wait than have to sand and fill every single thing that comes off the printer. So we print slowly, intentionally.
Gotcha.
So we print this, and it would take, say, 24, maybe 36 hours to print this piece at the quality we demand. And then the mold for it, I've got here a 3D printed mold jacket here. And then the mold for the actual thing is this silicone here.
We get to use that combo of
this piece down onto a work surface. I've got my 3D printed mold shell that I put around it, then fill this up with silicone, and then pop out this. And
how many of those can you pop out from the mold? Like, how long does a mold last?
A pretty long time. I think when we last tested,
how many pulls can you get out of that mold?
For simple things without a whole lot of real fine detail, 80, maybe 100, and that's kind of pushing it. If you have a piece that has lots and lots of fine detail, it's going to be a little less. 30 to 50 is kind of pushing it on the really high detail.
All right. And then where do you guys get your supplies for the silicone? Is it just on Amazon?
We use Smooth On. We're actually really lucky that there is a Reynolds material supply in Orlando that's pretty close to us. They've been an amazing help whenever we've had questions with things that we're developing. So we'll run over there and we'll pick up most of our materials from there.
They've got a fantastic showroom. So shout out to Reynolds Advanced Materials.
We'll be sure to put their website in the show notes.
Yeah, definitely. And they carry all the Smooth On products, so they're fantastic.
Staff is fantastic. You got to be careful of your wallet when you go in there, because you see all these.
We'll give those guys some love, man.
And you go home with a trunk full of.
So you guys make this sign, right? It's lighting up. Nathan got his amazing present, and then you guys get your first clients and your first customers. What happened next? How did it grow?
Well, it really started out with the first 4 or 5 people that reached out to me were friends of ours. And so we made them, and then they got it in and they shared it on their social media. And then people started asking them, well, where'd you get it? So then they started sending them to me. And then that particular sign, I put it up in a tiki group because a lot of people who like tiki, like that kind of stuff. And immediately had like about 20 people who DM'd me privately going, can I buy one? How big can you make them? What are you looking at? And so at that point I said, you know what, I had an old Etsy years ago where I was making, we were metalsmiths for a little while teaching. So we would sell some jewelry on Etsy. And I was like, well, why don't I just put it back up? Because a lot of people are comfortable buying on Etsy rather than DMing someone they don't really know other than they know their name on Facebook. So we started putting it up and directing people there, and people started buying them. And so it was surprisingly quick. It was very unexpected. I never expected it to be more than maybe just a small side hustle that we were doing while the quarantine was going on and I couldn't go out and do my normal job. But it pretty quickly tracked on that, and we're where we are now, where I can do it full time.
And that was kind of the first leap of our growth. And then the second thing was when I started making the Borderlands Iridium. And this is originally a 3D print, and then I've got a mold back here that I make that we cast them in, and we use 3D printed parts to make a rotational casting machine. So the whole drivetrain and my rotocaster.
Okay, so for you guys in your cars and you're listening to the podcast, please don't pull up YouTube. Don't do that. Just wait till you get to your destination. Okay. I know Nathan's excited. He's showing off all this stuff, and you're like, what is he showing? Just wait till you get home. Wait till you get okay. Just I don't want to be responsible for anything. So listen and drive. Don't watch and drive. Bad juju. Don't do that.
But so, the Borderlands Iridium, we made a little TikTok video showing off the making process. And my first batch, I think I had anticipated that I would be able to sell maybe 50 of them. So I went ahead and made a run of 50 of them, and we did a big pile of them, and had a friend who modeled one of the characters from Borderlands posing with these Iridiums that I made. And man, that making of video went viral on TikTok, and then we immediately had 100 more orders for it. And then the next month, another 50 orders, and the next month.
That's normally how it goes, man.
And that was still when we weren't sure how many we could make. So we were only putting up opening 50. We wouldn't take any more because we hadn't at that point really started doing molds. And so we were limiting ourselves pretty heavily and that's kind of what spurred we've got to figure out a way to do this faster. There's got to be a way. So many people want them. They'd be sold out, and people would be contacting us going, I want one. I have to have one, please. Just
I mean, that's normally how it goes. Like once things go viral, I mean, good luck. A lot of people that I've interviewed, if you guys have listened to the other episodes, it's the same problem. It's they cannot keep up with orders, and they're having to buy more machines to keep up with demand. You're not going to tell people no, right? Hey, I can't take your money. What? So what you do is you beg, borrow, steal. Don't steal. Don't steal. Take money, and you take and you invest it in a printer. And once that printer is paid for, and you pay off whoever you borrowed from, right? Because we don't steal, and you know what I mean. And it's so incredible how word of mouth will just explode your business, and that's it's amazing. So how did you guys grow? Did you guys take your money that you made and buy more printers?
Right, except for we did have a weird step in there, and that was we bought our initial printer to do the cosplay. And we then joined forces with some friends of ours, and we started a group called Print the Curve Flat during the quarantine. And we began tying together people from all over the country, and then some actually overseas, to make PPE for nurses, doctors.
Same, I did that too.
All of that. And that group, we ended up doing about 90,000 pieces of PPE. So Nathan and I invested in our second printer, not planning it to be a shop one, but actually because there was so much of a demand, we were trying to do as much physically as we could as well. So we actually had two printers at that point for that. So it did kind of make it easier when we started realizing we could sell stuff, that we did have two printers we could devote to it. But after that point, what we did was we would basically say, okay, we know we're going to need another printer. Let's put up a limited run of a certain product. The goal is to make exactly how much that printer costs. And that's what we did. So we now have 6 printers. Pretty much every printer has been paid for by some product that we initially opened the runs for specifically to pay for that printer.
That is so smart. That is so smart for you guys to use sales and have the printer price as the goal for that. A lot of people are just like, you know what, I'm gonna buy 5 machines and I'm just gonna like, no, dude, no, don't do that. Please don't do that. You guys, even in the coaching calls, I have to tell people, you know, they're like, hey, Nico, I'm gonna get this many machines, and I'm like, please don't start off with 1 And your production and everything will ramp up with scale, because if you jump the gun on scale, right, eventually you'll get there.
Yeah.
But now you're missing capital for product development, for for sourcing for your filament, for a bunch of other stuff. So good job to you guys figuring that out. So what machines are you guys using right now?
Well, we've got 3 FDM printers and we have 3 resin printers.
Okay, what are those what are those machines?
The resin printers are the Anycubic Photon S. We've got a Anycubic Mono X, and we have the Elegoo Jupiter that just dropped. We got it on Kickstarter.
Nice big one. All right.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's not set up yet, but
it's coming. We're really excited.
Oh man, me too. And your FDM printers?
Our FDM printers are all Creality. We really love them. We actually had gotten a couple before.
Which Creality? Is it the Ender 3, CR10?
We have the 10S, the 10V2, and the 10.5.
Okay, so CR10S. Okay. Yeah. S5. Oh, another nice big one.
Yeah. It needs a bit of TLC. It's a little finicky, but when it works, it's really cool to print.
Right. The CR10s are great machines, especially the S5s. But man, that bed.
Yeah. That one actually was an oddball, and the reason that we got it was because when we started selling the 20,000 league signs, we started getting calls or getting people asking, well, how big can you make them? And we're like, well,
can you make me one that's 5
we
feet
can
wide?
break them in pieces, but even trying to do a 5 foot wide sign on one of the 10s was still going to be so many pieces we had to put together. So we sat down and kind of broke it out and figured out what was the least amount of pieces that we could do on a decent sized bed that we could get that wasn't going to cost us an arm and a leg. And that's actually how we ended up with that one.
Gotcha.
Basically because we've had so many people that wanted to buy bigger versions of the signs to hang in bars and things like that. So
that's cool.
He's kind of an oddball, but we love him.
And that one we did the same thing we were talking about before. Is okay, people want to buy these bigger things, so let's figure out if we have to sell this many units of this piece to pay for the big printer.
Right.
So that's what we did, and we surprisingly, I'm amazed at how quickly we hit that goal of selling. Man, that sounds right.
I've interviewed several people. I'm on episode 30 something now, and to this day, I'm still surprised at how fast things just go. It's so quick, right?
It really is so unexpected.
Within a month, 2 to 3 months is pretty darn fast.
Yeah.
And people are like, people want their money now. Like, oh, why am I not making money yet? It's like, dude, relax. Just
and it's really finding that niche. Why am I not making money? It's because you're selling the same exact stuff as everybody else.
Right.
That's on Etsy. You're selling the same things that you found on Thingiverse or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So how else does a business make money? Do you guys offer print services or design services?
It depends. We do for some of our clients. We kind of keep those with people that we know. We've done some stuff for a few people. We have a couple people in the tiki fields that we've done.
And these are print services or design?
That's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Nathan actually does do some design work himself, but we also have a friend of ours who is pretty much an expert at Blender. And when it's something that we can't handle, we farm it out to her. A lot of times that's usually we'll farm it to her, she'll do the STL file for it, and then we'll print it and give it to our client, depending upon what they need. A lot of times it's something that they want to mold themselves, they want to cast themselves. So we're kind of doing their initial piece to make a mold from.
But we don't do a whole lot of printing as a service. A little bit. It's not a huge part of our stuff. Last year we did take a lot of our shop profits and reinvested into a laser cutter, so we're making some profit with that. Again, trying to find the niche for that. So some laser cutting stuff, 3D printing stuff, some molding and casting is a big part of it as well.
Sweet. And what profit margin are you guys targeting for your products?
30% per product.
30? That's pretty low for you guys to be making 60,000 a year on that kind of margin. Is pretty damn good. But does that include all like the LEDs and stuff like that and all that other stuff as well?
that is everything, counting all, and we count all materials. We're looking for that amount after all materials, shipping, gas, you know, where we have to pay for going back and forth, going to the post office, UPS, all that stuff. So that's what we aim for after everything.
Gotcha. All right. So have you guys tried anything to increase your guys' sales, like Facebook ads, Etsy ads, free shipping, stuff like that?
Yeah, we right now we're actually just dipping our toe into Etsy ads. So we've only been doing it for about a month. Not really sure yet if it's worth it. We're waiting to see. Kind of want to give it 2 months, see what we get. But mainly what we're doing is we do offer free shipping. We also make sure that when we're sending things out, everything is branded. We put in a postcard that has all of our information, all of our social media. We specifically ask for reviews and for people to do unboxings and to share, if they like the item, to share it on their social media, which we've had wonderful customers who have been fantastic about that. That always gets us more sales when somebody does that. Another thing is, because my background is in video editing and it's really one of my big passions, we heavily use that. We'll do videos all the time on things. We've got really lucky, like we mentioned before, the video that I did for the Iridium went viral on TikTok. It even got picked up by the people who make Borderlands, and they asked if they could share it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Through the store, which scared me because I was like, oh, they're gonna be upset that we're doing
normally they would be like, oh my God, that's copyright and IP, stop that.
Nope.
But these guys are cool, like, yeah, let's do it.
They were super pumped and they shared it, and that even brought in more sales, so we were scrambling. But
oh no, more sales.
But really embracing social media has been kind of our biggest driver. We do things like at some cons, we do panels where we talk about what we do and how people can get started. We've been invited and done displays of our work at other cons, like in the Artist Alleys area, where they put up things for people to see.
Yeah, we had a good display at Holiday Masquerade this past year, and
so that's really been our biggest growth, is just really embracing social media. And the more people that we can get to share our products once they buy them on social media, it's amazing how much that helps.
That's awesome.
People don't realize.
Yeah, it's finding the people who are interested in your products and doing the legwork yourself to put it in front of them.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a little bit of guerrilla marketing. It's not like here I sell this, but it's here, look at this cool thing I made, and then somebody will.
Yeah, a lot of people think that once they build a shop that they don't have to do anything. Like, oh no, that's the easy part.
Much work is making things.
Yeah.
And like Nathan said, sometimes it is the guerrilla. We're constantly scanning. If we're in a group and somebody mentions something, and if it makes sense, because we never want to push anything on anybody in like a Facebook group or something, but if it makes sense, we'll be happy to say, hey, you know what, we actually make those, or here's something. Or sometimes we'll post a picture of something relating to a question somebody has answered, and if our product's in it, we'll have people reach out and go, hey, where'd you get that? What's that thing over in the corner? Where'd you do that?
Yeah, it's called product placement.
Exactly. So it's being mindful about those kinds of things.
We've had a lot of success with product placement.
Attaboy. Good job.
Skating that fine line of being an annoying salesperson, a pushy salesperson who's dropping your wares every chance you get.
Right.
And doing the sort.
Well, it is it's an art form to be able to post something in a group, to be able to show off your work, of course, but at the same time, hey, I'm also trying to make money here, and that's what we're all trying to do, right?
Yeah.
So you have your Etsy shop. Do you guys have your own website as well?
We do. We actually just launched it about 2 months ago. And so we're slowly, we developed a certain product specifically for the launch of the website, so that we could start driving people towards it, that it wasn't going to be on our Etsy site. So that's nice. It's kind of helped that start to grow. So we're slowly doing a little transition of people from Etsy to our own site, but that's still in its early stages for sure.
And Etsy is nice in that we're not really doing any work for advertising on Etsy, and we still get sales through Etsy. But anytime we go out and advertise ourselves, we're pushing people to our website.
Right.
Good.
We launched our website right on the day of Etsy raising their fees again a couple months ago. We're like, all right, that's it.
I heard about that, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Etsy's everyone's trying to raise their prices. They gotta pay their board members. That's why.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we
pretty
did
much.
we launched it on the day of that strike, and we basically did an Etsy strike coupon and said,
Here's 10% off.
here's 10% off if you buy it from our website instead of our Etsy.
Use coupon code Etsy. What was it? Etsy Strike.
Etsy
Use
Strike,
coupon code Etsy Strike to get 10%
I could have
off.
sworn you were going to say Etsy sucks, but that would have been me.
That's what I was thinking.
The hard part with Etsy is we have a weird mix of half the stuff that we sell is for people that would be fine buying it off our website. But half the stuff that we sell are people that are of an older generation who are very comfortable with Etsy, but not as comfortable with an unknown website.
Gotcha.
So we're still striking that balance between getting the people that are okay with buying from a website, that they don't have that Etsy brand name backing, going to our site. And now, fortunately, some of the customers that we've had that would have only stayed with Etsy, now that they've repeatedly purchased from us, they're starting to be more comfortable, and we're slowly pulling them over to the website.
Good. I mean, it's going to be a slow transition, but the transition nonetheless. Luckily for me, I never started on Etsy. It was always just my own website. So I can't give input on transitioning from Etsy to your own website. So
if we had known it was going to take off like it would have, then maybe we would have started a website.
Never thought that.
But when you're starting with just a couple of products and you expect to sell 2 or 3, then Etsy makes it easy for them. That little
I agree.
For sure.
So what's next for you guys, man? What's the future of the business? What's gonna take you guys to 120 a year?
Well,
our latest cool thing that Jennifer was talking about was only some pieces of it are 3D printed. Everything we sell, almost everything we sell, is touched by the 3D printer somewhere. But our latest stuff is more laser cut than 3D print. We engineered and designed a moving acrylic automaton thing. That
is so cool.
Is
I need pictures after this interview. I think I have Nathan on Facebook. Dude, I want pictures.
Absolutely.
A little moving display piece.
That's one I'm really proud of, because that sucker lived. That was something that I designed to be a flat layered acrylic piece. I was like, we're going to get these out fast. They'll just be something we can throw up and sell. And then immediately I was like, well, why don't we do this? And why don't we do this? And maybe it could move, and maybe the tentacles could attack the Nautilus, and maybe we could have like the moon.
This girl, there it goes her head. I love that.
Growing. And like
I love that.
Even that, with a lot of the pieces being built or being cut through the laser printer, there are still pieces that Nathan was coming in going, are you stuck with this? Hey, why don't I 3D print this bracket? And we'll be able to mount that, and that will save it. And so being able to use a 3D printer to implement these little things to just help them go together faster was just amazing. And that's kind of where right now we've got about 5 more different versions of those automatons that are currently in the pipeline. And then Nathan's got some amazing designs that he's working on that are kind of like in the vein of Star Wars, we'll put it that way. Hologram things that he's building.
Combination of 3D print and resin cast and electronics and
awesome.
Laser cutter. Pretty much.
You guys got a bunch of products coming in, huh?
Right.
Yeah, all these skills and tools and slowly growing. We've got some cool Star Wars stuff that we've done a soft launch but haven't done a heavy advertising push.
All right. Well, we'll be sure to link that down in the bottom if you guys are doing pre-orders for that. That way people can find that. Can get you guys some sales.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And
so that's it for me, man. Let's wrap this up with your guys' number 1 tip for anyone who wants to start their own 3D printing business.
I'm going to go with embrace social media.
Embrace social media.
Find a niche that's not already cluttered. If you're trying to print the stuff that's the same thing that everybody else is printing, it's not going to go well. And if you're trying to sell your 3D prints to other people who have 3D printers, that's not really going to go well either. Find your clients, find what they want, make the thing that these people want, and put it in front of them. Don't try to sell to other people with 3D printers.
For sure.
And don't try to sell the same old stuff.
Exactly. So that's the analogy that I use for marketing. It's like, look, you guys will have a competition. Say me and Jen will have a competition about who can sell the most burgers, right?
Right.
I'll give Jen all the advantages that you want. Best burgers, best chefs. I'll even give you location, best furniture, best marketing, best branding. I'll give you all of that. I just want one advantage, and that's a horde of starving, hungry people.
Yep.
You lose every single time.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh
Yeah.
And so people just have to find your horde of starving, hungry people. And that's exactly what you guys are saying. So you guys said, embrace social media and sell the right products to the right people.
And those two really go hand in hand. I mean, that's what it is. It's like when we are doing social media, we're targeting the people that want the item that we're selling because it is unique. It is a niche thing. They're not going to find it everywhere. We're not going to target like the latest new hotness that everybody wants because everybody's doing it.
Right.
So if it's a niche thing that people can't find, they're willing to pay for a well done niche thing.
I
We
agree.
did do that very briefly with Baby Yodas when everybody Baby Yoda was a hot thing.
There at the very beginning. We don't do that after.
Yodas.
Yeah, right.
That was just barely getting started, man. That was 3 years ago or whenever it was.
Right.
All right. So I told everybody, if you guys stay to the very, very end, that I will give you your own product idea for your own 3D printing business. And I'm going to jump on a little bit on what Jen does. And you guys can make candle mold negatives.
Yep.
Now, give me a second here. What you guys can do is you guys can 3D print what you want the candle to look like. After that, you would make the negative out of that mold. So you can have the mold and you can make your candles in that mold. See, candles are a huge market, you guys.
Oh gosh, yes.
Especially if they're nice, like men's scented candles or men's scented soaps and stuff like that. I use Dr. Squatch, great soaps, by the way. It's not a paid ad or anything. And you guys can do that. There's no Baby Yoda soaps, right? There's no Star Wars soaps. There you go. If all you did was Star Wars soaps and you put it on Etsy, dude, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
You'll have your own blue ocean in your own niche.
Yeah, we can get Lou to design some cool things, or heck, I can design.
I think I just gave Jen and Nate their own business. Now you guys can't compete. Now it's over.
Thermal detonator bath bombs.
There you go.
There you go.
Thermal detonator bath
Gotta message me so I can give you your own product idea. Again, you guys, thank you so much for being here. As always, all their links are going to be in the description below. If you guys are on YouTube, if you're on your favorite podcast player, it's in the description below in the show notes. And if you guys do need help building, starting, and scaling your own 3D printing business, message me, email me. We'll sit down, we'll talk, see if we're a good fit for each other. And then you guys can join the coaching program. Honestly, you guys, there's so many things you guys can do with 3D printing. It's unbelievable. Jen, Nate, you guys, $60K a year. That's a full-time job, you guys. Congratulations.
That's what she's been doing for 2 years. And
dude, it's not really about the money. It's about the freedom.
Right. Absolutely.
It's about the freedom. It really is. So
to wake up and do something creative every day instead of being stuck
fun.
in a normal job, that's priceless.
And that's
so much fun. So much.
And I have to report to only the 3 cats that we have. Those are my bosses. As long as I make enough to cover their cat food.
I got 5 kids and the wife, so I got 6 bosses. All right, you guys, thank you for being on the show. God bless you. Thank you. Congratulations. We'll do this again in about a year, and I'll check up on you guys.
We're at there.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be in our new shop by then.
Peace out, guys.
Peace. Thanks.
All right, bonus content time. Now we can show off those prints because bonus content is only on YouTube. Dude, seriously, those soap mold negatives?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then you can mass produce your soap.
Or we'll print the positives and pour negatives.
And the thing I was thinking about when you were saying that is such a good idea because like we were talking about, you don't want to do what everybody's doing, but it's kind of like we have got some, like there's some folks that we have done things where it was something that was super hot, but we took it and made it different. Like there's, we sell Tiki 3PO masks that Hex 3D has on his Patreon. Ours sell on our shop like hotcakes, and they sell for a decent chunk more than most people are selling them. The reason is because we touched base with Hex and said, hey, we like stuff that does stuff. Are you okay with that? And he was like, yeah, sure. Do whatever you want to do. So we changed the design. We now have ours that light up, look like C-3PO. So when you hang that on your wall, you're automatically getting that wow factor that the other 100 or so people that sell them don't have.
Yeah, it can have a cool paint job,
So,
but ours lights up.
yeah.
So everybody likes light up stuff.
So
right?
it's the same thing like
Yes.
you were saying with that.
Lights
Maybe
make all the
take
difference.
hotness and twist it just a little bit so that you're making it something unique that other people aren't selling. But like Nathan we were talking about one of the thing that Nathan's working on right now, which is again the same thing. Everybody makes the holograms that they laser cut and they put them on those pucks. Nathan went in and designed basically something that looked like it comes from Star Wars. We go to Galaxy's Edge. We did a lot of research,
Dude,
watching.
so that reminds me, people can do. All right, I'm gonna put that on. I have a list of product ideas, and so, yeah, that just gave me an idea for another product idea for people.
So I got this. This was originally, I designed this in Fusion. Jen said we hired.
Yeah, I forgot to ask that. What software are you using to design?
I'm using pretty much Fusion. I tried Blender, and Blender's user interface made me want to just go lie in a ditch and cover myself with dirt.
I get that all the time. Honestly, I do. I really do. It's because it's so damn powerful.
Yeah.
It's just the UI is the biggest issue for everyone. Because you open it up and you look at it and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I think
I get it. I totally get it. When I first started Blender, I was like, oh no.
Fusion's numbers, geometric shapes, and everything like that works really well with my brain compared to Blender.
Yeah. So we use Lou when we need something. If it's something that's going to be like a figural piece, like we've had people reach out for tiki mugs and they want it to look like a person's face.
Anything is
we'll hire her for that because she can do the faces and things. But if it's something like this, that's all something we can do.
Yeah, so this I designed the original in Fusion and then made a mold of it. And it's still got some 3D printed parts. The electronics holder on the bottom is still 3D printed, every one, because that's a pretty quick print. And then it plugs in and turns on. And we got.
That's cool. Yeah. You get those Pokemon ones, but that is cool. Damn.
By the Empire, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah. Is it backwards? Oh no, this is the Arabesh one, so it's in.
Dang.
So what we'll do with that?
I should put this bonus content in the beginning.
We sell this as send us a picture of your cosplay, and we'll make you a wanted poster.
Dude.
And so we're keeping it unique to the people that want them.
All right.
And then we're making sure that the actual piece itself looks like it could be a piece of tech
that
Star Wars
is
instead of again just the normal
awesome.
puck that everybody else uses.